Welcome to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where we share stories about folks that are mistaken for employees by irate customers. And the first story is, how dare you let a drunk serve me? Typical phone warning. Yes, English is my first language. Australian, so swearing is part of my vocabulary. But predictive text is a B. I'll do my best to proofread it. A bit of backstory about me so you get an idea of my mindset. I'm a bartender on weekends and uni student on weekdays. I worked retail for 6 years and often go autopilot when tired. I once thanked my fiancée for shopping with us after she cooked dinner. Also, if you've never paid close attention to a longtime bartender before, we're pretty good at what we do and like to show off when mixing. My uniform is a long white shirt, bleachable, a blue vest, not bleachable, and black slacks. Not the most comfortable uniform, so I often bring a t-shirt and boardies to change into afterwards. That's me in a nutshell. One Saturday afternoon, it's packed. Absolutely bonkers because of the AFL match. I don't remember who was playing. The beer is flowing, the cheers are merry, and the roars are loud. Being the spirit mixer, or more correctly, the one who spends the most time around the rack of spirits, I'm mixing a whole bunch of rums for a party of 10. I yank the next bottle of rum off the shelf, tossing the empty at the recycle bin, and spin the top off. Not the smartest thing I've ever done in a 6-hour shift, as I proceeded to spill about 5 shots worth of Bundy rum on the hem of my shirt, as well as my pants. I sigh but shrug. Spilled alcohol is par for the course on a busy day, and my manager knows I'll write it off. I finish my shift and silently thank past me for packing a change of clothes. Well, the t-shirt at least. Fantastic. The t-shirt I packed was a deep blue with a decal on the front of a winged fox that read, "I do not give a fig." A flying fox. Shout out to the artist Fablefire, look them up. Tossing my rum-soaked top into my bag, I change and leave. Whatever, I'm only going to the nearest Big W, my old workplace, to get some more things and then home. While browsing the confectionery aisle, I feel a presence behind me. Thinking it's someone trying to see what's past me, I mutter an apology and step sideways, tiredly weighing up whether I buy the discounted cherry ripe bag or a block of Black Forest. While I grab the block of chocolate, the person behind me coughs in an excuse me manner. Me, sorry mate. I step further aside. I put the block back and grab the bag instead. Cherry ripe is better anyway. I feel a tap on my shoulder and turn around to see a walking nest of bleached hair and sunglasses that could make a fly jealous. Karen, I knew immediately. Karen, excuse me. There was more nasal in that voice than an ENT's clinic. Can you help me? At this point, I'm almost in autopilot and the presence of this Karen flicks the switch. Me, yes ma'am? She scoffs as if I have just picked my nose. Karen, you shouldn't use such a tone with a customer. Where are your light bulbs? Obviously not in the lolly aisle, I think to myself. Me, I don't know, electrical? That way, I think. I gesture in the general direction of homewares and electrical goods. Karen's hands shoot to her hips, tapping her foot. I stand there like a numpty, wondering what on earth she's doing. Karen, well aren't you gonna take me there? Me, no. She throws her hands in the air. Karen, well I never. The service here is terrible. She leans in to jab a finger at me. I instinctively rock backwards. You need to take me there. Me, finally suppressing 6 years of customer service. Lady, I don't... Karen, I don't care what excuse you have. You... She stops and I notice her nostrils flare. You're not slow, you're drunk. How dare you? Where is your manager? Me, lady? Karen, no, shut up you drunk R. All this yelling brought an actual employee over. Let's call him Slim. Slim, what's going on? Karen, how can you let an employee be drunk here? Are you the manager? Slim, no ma'am, but he's... Karen, I only want to speak to a manager now. Slim turns on his heels and smartly walked over to the PA, calling our floor manager to confectionery. He wimps out and stays at the registers while my old manager wanders over. Manager, how can I... Karen, fire this drunk piece of SH. The manager looks at me, my Flying Fox t-shirt, my rum-smelling slacks, and my blank expression. She was used to seeing that after I finished work. Manager, miss, he hasn't worked here for years. Karen, yes he does, look at him. She jabs me in the chest, and I stumble backwards slightly, knocking some Kinder Surprises off the shelf. You're just protecting his drunk A. Manager, ma'am, you need to calm down. Karen, I won't until you fire this SH stain. How dare you let a drunk serve me? Look at him. It seems she actually took the time to look at my outfit this time. Not the blue pinstripe business shirt the manager is wearing, but a shirt that's borderline offensive and yet cute at the same time. Her face flushed pink, and she flicks her hair in annoyance. Karen, excuse me, I'm late for an appointment. At 6 in the afternoon? She pushes past manager and I and leaves the store. Manager watches her leave before giving me a sideways glance. I shake my head slowly and just wave it away. Dumb customers were something I dealt with at least once a week as a cashier. I buy my cherry ripes and drive home to play WoW. The next story is, psychotic and/or drunk Karen gets violent because I don't work here, lady. I, 20 male, am German. English is not my first language, so be kind, please. I went to a very well-known electronics store here in Germany, looking for some Nintendo accessories for my Switch. As I stroll through the aisle, an old lady approaches me, asking me where to find Steam cards. Since I know that, I just told her they were by the register. The nice grandma was kind to me and told me she just thought to ask me because I was young and there were no employees nearby. So I helped her and went looking for my stuff again. I was wearing a red t-shirt and some really tight black pants. The shirt had Japanese signs printed on it as well, and I can't wrap my mind around how the next example thought I worked there. Now the story begins. As I pick up a nice case for my Nintendo Switch, I hear the signature ahem. There was not a single person around before, so I immediately look up. There she is, a real nice Karen. Mid-50s, short red hair, and secretary glasses. Never seen anyone's face scream soccer mom more. Soccer mom equals SM, me equals me. Soccer mom, excuse me, where can I find, she reads from note, Bink Zowie RL2755, gaming monitor. Me, oh, I actually know that. I just got one for myself. I just bought a whole setup and the store is close by, 3 hours ago. I understand why you had trouble finding the monitor, since they aren't in the monitor aisle, because they have a discount at the moment. Soccer mom, I know, that's why I'm here. Me, here you go, pointing towards the monitor after walking her to the right aisle. Soccer mom, I have back problems, I'll need you to carry that to check out, and my car. No, please, or thank you. Me, not realizing she thinks I'm an employee. I can help you when I finish my shopping, but I think you can ask an employee to do that for you. Soccer mom, and are you sure that you're not just being lazy? Me, pardon? Soccer mom, if it's not your department, I understand, but acting like you don't work here is disgusting and lazy. Me, well, I really don't work here, I just helped you because you asked, and I knew where the monitor you wanted was. Soccer mom, I saw you help that lady before, I know you work here. I want to speak to your manager now. She was actually going from fake smiling to screaming in a second, and I was terrified of this woman. Me, I told you already, I don't work here. Look at my shirt, you think that says name of the store in Japanese? How can you even come to that conclusion? Soccer mom, you're not getting out of this. Help! She literally, and I kid you not, starts screaming for help. Me, are you insane? I start walking off. At this point, I'm terrified of this psycho. She had a real wild and insane look in her eyes. I don't know why I just started walking, but I was actually so baffled I didn't know how to deal with that much insanity. Of course, Karen isn't just gonna let me walk. The psycho decides to grab me with one arm around my neck and her other hand is grabbing my throat. Now I start smelling the Prosecco. Just out of reaction and panic, I forcibly fight my way free of the claws of the Karen and I elbow her face accidentally. She is screaming bloody murder. I'm a really sensitive guy and I just couldn't help it. I just start crying. I didn't know how to handle what happened at all. Soccer mom is bleeding and screaming and I am crying. By now, employees have arrived, and customers. Soccer mom, your colleague just punched my nose in. Me, still ugly crying. I don't work here, she just grabbed me and I panicked, I am so sorry. At this point, I try to see if Karen is okay and want to help her up and apologize. I'm a huge guy, 191 centimeters tall, muscular, and I easily weigh 110 kilograms. So I felt like I could have reacted better to her assaulting me other than trying to break free with full force. As I apologize while still weeping, the psycho scratches over my face, hitting my lip which started to bleed like crazy. Me and Karen are bleeding. I can't stop crying because my body just doesn't know how to deal with that stress. Now we're sitting in separate rooms in the store waiting for police to arrive. The police pick up my story and give me real dirty looks and make some comments. I feel like the ground under my feet is slipping away. I still couldn't stop weeping or the bleeding in my face. After about 45 actual minutes of being scared out of my mind, the policemen come back with Karen, behind them in handcuffs. They told me that they had reviewed the camera footage and that my story checks out 100%. They were taking her in anyways for actually throwing her phone in one of the employees of the store's face while waiting in that room. I am so sorry, I don't know the context to that. So they asked me if I would like to press charges too. I, of course, said yes. So, awful story with a kinda happy end. One of the worst days of my life for sure. I'm a real snowflake. That was too much to handle for me. Case is still ongoing. I can keep you updated. Her hearing is in a couple weeks, as this story happened shortly after the release of Smash Brothers for the Switch, and German court is slow as F. All I know is that she spent a whole night in custody, which makes me extremely happy to hear. Thank you for reading. I hope you enjoyed this actually for once real and extreme I don't work here lady situation. Another story is, please leave me alone. The scene opens on a hectic craft store. Halloween decor has been marked down to 70% off. Christmas is everywhere. All three of the employees wearing red vests are currently stationed at the long checkout lines. Enter me, the tired teacher who is wearing a bright blue shirt that says, "We scare because we care," and black work pants, fresh off a Monsters Inc. themed day in my class. All I needed was googly eyes. I ambled through the Christmas decor, seeing if anything caught my eye, before I tried to continue to make my way to the back of the store, where I knew my googly eyes were. I had to squeeze past a mom and her two daughters, one of which was in the cart playing with a toy. She made eye contact with me and I gave her a smile back as I brushed past. This prompted her to ask me as I walked away, at a voice no louder than a mouse, if we had any more of the elf clothes in the back room. I shook my head and shrugged, pressing forward on my mission for googly eyes. Once the eyes were acquired, I took a detour through the sticker aisle. I'm such a sucker for a good sticker pack. While perusing the options, a voice caught my attention. "Excuse me?" Being a teacher, my automatic reaction to a youngin's voice being polite is to turn and say, "Yes? Do you have any printer paper?" I'm pretty sure my helpful face melted right off. "I'm sorry, I don't work here." The teenager was pretty embarrassed and mumbled a hasty apology before dashing off to find her mom in the sea of holiday decor. Within 5 minutes of being in the store, I had been mistaken as an employee twice, and I was ready to go. I took my googly eyes and began to hightail it to the registers. Unfortunately, I had the quick realization that I did not have anything to wear in my hair for my costume, so I took another route through the clearance aisle to see if there was anything that would work for me. While holding my googly eyes and a heavily discounted notebook that I definitely don't need, a Karen waltzed up to me. "Hi, do you work here? Where can I find—" I interrupted her spiel with a smile. "Sorry, I don't work here." She huffed. "Does anybody?" She snarked as she stomped away. With that, I promptly jumped into line. I need a nap. The last story is, boss wants me to come into work drunk. Okay, so I was thinking this would be an entitled people, but it's about work and I wasn't working at the time. Also, I'm on phone. My boss is a nice guy, but sometimes gets a bit aggravated. And, I'll be honest, doesn't run things the way I would run things. To the story. A couple of people have left the job due to not being paid for overtime and being overworked anyway. So the people left, including me, have been doing 6 or 7 days a week to keep the place running. It's a small business and money is money. About 2 weeks of this and we asked the boss man, when are new people being hired? "Oh, you guys seem to be getting on fine as you are." And that was the end of that convo. Being a bit run down and young and fed up of no social life, I booked off a nice 4-day weekend and bought tickets for a band I liked. Holiday was accepted. Nice. Friday comes and I wake up nice and late. Get a couple of tinnies in with the mates on the way up, the big smoke, and proceed to get hammered to punk music and thoroughly enjoying my night of sticking it to the man. In the smokers area, I get a phone call from boss man. "Hey, Big G." We have a kind of casual relationship. That wasn't just me being a moron. "Hey, Angry Jarl, any chance you can work tonight and the weekend? We are understaffed and Name would have to work 16 hours. "Sorry, boss man, I'm in London and also pretty sloshed." "Right, so you're going to make Name not go home to his kids because you want to have fun then?" Dutch courage kicked in. "Look, we are all overworked and you don't want new people. We all told you this would happen, so no, I'm not coming in." "Well, don't bother turning up tomorrow then." That's the plan, but he hung up. Went back to work on Tuesday and he acted like nothing happened. Turns out boss man did the shift himself because Name just got in his car after hearing the convo over the phone. Started the job search again, cause still no one knew being hired because, of course, we seem to be managing fine. This has basically been just a bit of a rant. Boss is a nice guy, but his corner cutting to make money is just basically treating his staff like poo. Thanks for listening, bye!